Your group is holding its convention in Houston, where you are right now, just a few days after the massacre in Uvalde. We saw Donald Trump dancing on stage at the end of his remarks.
He was not. I was there. He was not dancing.
How is any of this at all appropriate? We're showing it on stage right now. He's doing a little jig there. People are waving their NRA hats and so on. It's this celebratory atmosphere right after a mass shooting where all of these kids are gunned down. How is that appropriate?
Yes, so look, Jim Acosta is on there with an NRA board member, Judge Phillip Journey, and I think that his overall point is right, and we will talk about it, about the celebratory atmosphere. But I do think we have to clarify two things where maybe Jim Acosta wasn't being fair. One, calling it a jig. A jig is a real dance, that weird shimmy that he does. I don't know what that's supposed to be. And two, saying, how can you celebrate right after a mass shooting? Well, Jim Acosta, what do you want them to do? We have mass shootings every day in America. Every day is gonna be right after a mass shooting. So that's maybe setting up an impossible standard. Thanks to the advocacy of groups like the NRA, there's never a day where there wouldn't be gun violence for them to celebrate in the wake of. But anyway, with that said, in terms of the dancing and the celebration, JR, what do you think?
Well, yeah, this guy, the first thing is to deny reality, as you saw there. He goes, that didn't happen. Literal screen right next to him of him doing exactly what they said he's doing. I was there, as if there's no cameras or microphones. I'm not sure the approach that people like this have. Why did he even go on this? This guy's a judge. At first, when I saw his name, I thought his name was Judge something, because sometimes people like naming their kids Judge. But he's an actual judge. These are people who make determinations within our law. But he thinks he can go on TV after being at that, as he said, and talk about, you guys, you're completely misconstruing what he did. He said some nice things about those kids, and then he started dancing. Please stop misconstruing and mischaracterizing the atmosphere of the day, please. Bro, just stay home. Does he think this is gonna help? Does he think this works? Does he think people who are upset about this are gonna see his ass on this and then go, you know what? The judge was right. You're right. Let's go shooting up more people.
I don't know what their strategy is. I don't know how, like, it's a cliche thing to say. I don't know how they live with themselves. Like, they know what their organization is. Like, maybe they have these fantasies of, like 70 years ago when it was supposedly actually about gun safety or whatever. They have totally moved away from that. But like, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing by having this thing in Texas. He saw Trump dancing. He was there. They thought that was cool. Yeah, little thing that he does, because I'm here at this NRA thing, and like people were like, well, clearly you can't go. There was just this terrible shooting. It would be so heartless to go. No, I'm here and I'm dancing. It's fun, the thing that we're doing, talking about how awesome guns are. Trump doesn't even care about guns. Like, you think Trump is obsessing over like buying a new rifle or something? This is just cosplay. This is horrific, demonic cosplay that he's doing. He wants people who are obsessed with guns to like him, so he goes there. He doesn't give a damn about a gun. I don't know if he's ever shot a gun in his life. He lives at the top of a New York skyscraper. He's concerned with golden toilets and overcooked steaks and ties that are too long. Those are his interests, not guns. But they want to see him there. He is delivering that. It is sick that he would dance that way, that he would celebrate in that way, but that's the devil's bargain that he has made with them. Now, you had said, JR, you don't understand the thought process of being on there. Well, let's watch a little bit more of that interaction and see if we can figure it out.
How is that appropriate?
I think that what you're doing is just telling part of the story there, because at the beginning of his speech, he did do a very memorable memorial for the victims. And he did make comments that were appropriate.
Okay, so he did a memorial. It was very appropriate. Okay, let's go to that memorial.
Alexandria Rubio, Aletha Ramirez, Amory Garza, Annabelle Guadalupe Rodriguez, Eliana Cruz Torres.
I don't know what that is. I watch a lot of like dystopic fiction. that would be so over the top. Like them ignoring the deaths, I thought was the worst thing that they could do. Them acknowledging it in that way, JR, is so much worse. Him stumbling and bumbling his way through names that he can't pronounce and doesn't care to learn. And then a gong, there is some jackass gun nut who is hitting a gong. Yes, that kid died with a weapon that I think is awesome. Yes, that kid died. I don't care, we're not outlawing it. I want the ammunition to be available. I want the big magazines to be available. I wonder if I'm gonna be gonging after the next big school shooting. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm gonging over the deaths. That's, JR, I don't know what else to say.
They literally did this.
That's insane.
They did this so that people like this judge guy can go on TV and say, we did something. That's the level of planning that went into this. Imagine, okay, so Tuesday, I believe, is when the shooting went down. By Friday, they were having their event. 3 days, 2 maybe, Wednesday and Thursday, to plan what you're gonna do to honor these kids. Because what they definitely didn't want to do was not do this event. They even addressed that as well, which was, well, no, the vendors were already in place. People have bought their tickets already. What do you want us to do? Not do it? So this was the plan to, what they thought was gonna get the heat off of them for actually having the celebratory atmosphere after this all happened. And they go, let's have something really ominous like a gong. And then that'll make people think, oh, they're really serious this time.
Yeah.
This is the thought process. This is the closest they can get to having empathy. There were studies where I've said it so many times. There's studies that talk about how people find themselves in certain political leanings. And many people that find themselves in these political leanings of conservatives have a lower level of empathy for other humans. They actually think about themselves, and then if there's an inability to connect and understand someone else's point of view. So when they're trying to, this is the kind of result you get. So what would someone who gives a damn about other people do? Oh, they'd ring a loud gong and read each of their names for the first time ever seeing these names. That'll work. And when it doesn't work, they go, why are they so mad at me? I did it. Because that's the reason you did it. Just to get the heat off your back, not to honor the victims, not to try and not have more victims the next time. Because as you pointed out earlier, there's 18 more of these, I believe, since. Who cares about victims? We just need to respond and get the heat off of our backs. That's their only purpose here.
100%, yeah. Yeah, and they were gonging for the kids that died in this particular shooting. They were doing that because that's the one that everyone is focused on, understandably so. They're not gonging for all the other shootings. They're not gonging.
They gong for Buffalo? Do they gong for Buffalo?
Yeah. Where's your gongs? So like what? As you said, what are we supposed to do? We already bought the venue. Here's what I want you to do. I do want you to cancel this meeting of the NRA, and then I want you to cancel all of the meetings of the NRA, and I want you to go get a different hobby. That's what I want you to do. I want you to get really into playing Magic the Gathering, or agility training your new Shiba Inu, or working for Habitat for Humanity, or getting into like urban hiking. I don't care. Get literally any other hobby that does not routinely result in you needing to gong off a massive ever-growing list of dead kids. That's my advice. People say that we don't offer solutions often enough. That's my solution. Leave the group, end it, go get literally any other hobby. Go learn to do like the new TikTok dances. Do that. Do an hour every day of learning new TikTok dances or whatever. Go try Krav Maga. Get literally any other hobby. How about that?
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.